That's like, oh, I was gonna say, that's really good. You're like 14-4 at the top. They actually choose people in Colorado. How they feel studying there. College kids up there. When you have to get some medication, and it's just to see how they, you know, so tell Jim that's about a little less than 60% of the you can't prepare for that side of it, so you over prepare for like any client that you're going to be prepare for like the steepness of the last two classes. So that way when you hit it, what is so different about that? Yeah. So straight to that point, we're just day one, stuff over we got there. Day one hike, we go up to like 7,500 with the flat iron, and then we came down, drove out to an easy hike, just all the way to about 9,000 feet. Came down. Yeah. Day two, we went up to 12,000 feet. Came down. What? Actually, I was done same place. Okay, that's good. My wife and I went to the first one. We did a little hike around there. Yeah, that's my fourth one. But this year I was a little more beaten up because Audrey was asking me if she could go and say she wanted to go to Colorado next year. Because I was around, so I ain't gonna try and figure out. Just a giant. Yeah, she's done a lot of like, she's done some pretty good hiking, but not at that elevation. It's like difficult.
Are all the other things
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy lives at Denver, so I can and you can't find two other 14,000. Yeah, you Denver, yeah, exactly. So like Colorado has 8 of them, and then that's mostly all and he did it.
Good evening. Thank you for your patience as we transition from executive session to our meeting here. I'd like to call our meeting to order and invite you to stand and join with me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have the roll call, please?
Mr. Desai?
Here.
Mrs. Freiberg? Dr. Hesson?
Here.
Mr. Robinson?
Here.
Mr. Sanders?
Here.
Mrs. San Martin?
Here.
Mrs. Schrader?
Here.
Dr. Sullivan?
Here.
Mrs. Turner?
Here.
Madam President, there are 8 members present and 1 absent this evening.
Thank you. This is your reminder to please silence your cell phones during our meeting. And unless I'm mistaken, there is no public comment on agenda-related items this evening. So moving on, Makai, Student Board Representative Report. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Last Thursday, the marching band hosted its preview event where members showcased their hard work. They performed stand tunes, played songs prepared by their individual sections specifically for this performance, and concluded with their full show entitled entitled The Cathedral. In the week and a half leading up to the event, the band practiced outside, rain or shine, memorizing both their field movements and their music. The preview had a great turnout, and many audience members commented that the show was well done and expressed excitement to see how it progressed. I'd like to thank staff members such as Mr. Shearer, Mr. Nace, and many more for dedicating their time for helping the band prepare and make this performance showcase ready. Also, last Thursday, members of Link Crew participated in training days to prepare for a successful student orientation. They learned important skills such as delivering a thorough and concise introduction, engaging an audience, being without being overbearing, and maintaining a positive attitude while in charge. These skills will all be put to practice during freshman orientation. Once again, I'd like to thank Link Crew coordinators, Ms. Holman, Ms. Arpanese, Mrs. Hearn, for demonstrating the kind of leadership qualities that Link Crew members will strive to replicate during the orientation. That's all I have.
Thank you. Hats off to Link Crew, huh? Thank you. That brings us to Board President's report. The board met in executive session on August 11th, 2025. That's tonight at 6 p.m. for the purpose of discussing personnel. No official action was taken. And I also have a little recognition that's hot off the press from PSBA. PSBA's Honor Roll of School Board Service program proudly celebrates school board directors for their longstanding dedication and service to their districts and community. Through this recognition, we express our sincere appreciation for their commitment to public education and the students they serve. Now in its 41st year, the Honor Roll recognizes school directors at 5-year service intervals, starting at 5 years and continuing every 5 years thereafter. Eligible school directors receive an Honor Roll certificate to commemorate their service. For those 20 years of service, PSBA awards a commemorative plaque. Well, that's not the case here. In any case, PSBA is recognizing our very own Mr. Richard Robinson. Says the governing board of the Pennsylvania School Boards Association proudly represents a certificate of appreciation to Richard Robinson of York Suburban School District in recognition of ongoing school board service and long-term contributions of individuals who bring their energy, talent, and values to the guidance of youth and public education in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Mr. Robinson, congratulations.
It's all a big mistake.
No. Okay, administrative reports. Dr. Krauser, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a short update this evening. I just wanted to share with the excitement of the school year beginning. We kicked off things this morning with new staff members. So we had 20 staff members attend, and Dr. Lorfink led the introduction with our staff, and all of the administrative team joined the new staff members to the district at the middle school, and they moved through a variety of different program elements, some onboarding, sometimes it's information overload, but the studious group was busy taking notes and organizing all the materials and resources. The association leadership did a fantastic job welcoming and collaborating with the new staff, as well as the mentors who were able to join us today. They then began a tour of the district, our annual bus ride, so the staff were able to engage in a variety of locations across the district. That's exciting for us because it really kind of signifies the start of the school year from the staffing perspective. So that took place today. They're going to continue some activities tomorrow with a variety of onboarding opportunities, as well as some time in their own buildings. Wednesday of this week, we get to celebrate the first day again, now with all staff as they return for their first day Wednesday of this week. And then, of course, next week, begin those first days for students. So we're excited that on Tuesday we have, of course, a transition day, and then Wednesday all students will be reporting. We have been communicating to the community about those first day activities. We have a family back to school guide that's online, and all that information has been shared so everybody knows where they're going, what their resources are, and how to get in touch with all of the eligible funds. So that was just an update to anytime I get a chance to share about the excitement of bringing staff in and welcoming students between now and our next meeting. I wanted to take a moment and say that. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Kicking off the new school year. Chief Financial and Operations Officer, Mrs. Kindick.
Thank you. I have several items on here for board's review for approval at the next meeting. The first two items are property tax exemption requests or notifications, I should say, for veterans exemptions. The first one is a total assessed value of property of $122,230, and the second one is the total assessed value of $280,800. The next two items on the list are renewal of an agreement with the ABA Support Services LLC. And these agreements are for a certified behavioral analyst at $130 an hour, and for a registered behavioral technician at $60 an hour. These are the same prices that we were charged last year for these positions. The registered behavior technician is a grant, PCCD grant provided position that we use funding for that, and the funding will come from the 24 to 2026 grant to pay for that position. And then the other two agreements are with Specialized Education Pennsylvania Incorporated, and that is, the first one is for 8 seats at High Roads for full-time center-based emotional support classroom, and the second one are for 3 seats in the full-time center-based autistic support program with 2 one-on-one aides. Those costs did go up this year. The emotional support program cost went up $15 per day, so the total would be $202 per day, and the center-based autistic support, that is $479 per student per day, and the aid is $256 per student or per aid per day, and that is an increase of $32 a day for the program and $17 a day for the aid. And just one other note, we did have 10 seats last year, but we were able to reduce. We think our need will be less this year, so we only are asking for 8 seats this year. And finally, I'm asking the board to approve PNC Bank as an additional depository for the 25-26 fiscal year in an effort to just streamline when we start spending down bond funds and transferring money. Currently, our bonds are held at PSDLA, the Pennsylvania School District Liquid Asset Fund. And they're not an actual banking facility that can offer a check account, but they're linked with PNC. And so we would open up our checking account at PISLAF. The funds would flow through PNC. And so if the board were to approve that, I could open a checking account there to just transfer money and make that process a little more streamlined. And that concludes my report. If there are no other questions.
Any questions for Mrs. Kindig, Mrs. Turner?
I was just wondering, would you be able, and I don't expect you to tell us this right now, but could you let us know if you're looking back at last year and the year before, when it comes to those agreements with ABA Support Services, I'm just curious what we have been spending every year on both of those positions.
So I can tell you for ABA Support Services, we spent $155,512 for the certified behavior technician or certified behavioral services technician. And that was for it was approximate, I rounded up, 1,197 hours. So it was a little less than that, but that's how many hours we used her. And then the registered behavior technician was $67,350. And it was about 1,123 hours for that person. And then I'd have to do the math. It was, I don't have the cost. I can get that other one for the other one. It would be 10 times. I have to do the math. I can't do all that in my head right now, but it's not hard math. I just need to on the spot. Yeah, 10 seats at $15 less than 202, so 197,000 or so. Any other questions?
Anything else for Mrs. Kindig?
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Maurer, Athletics Department.
He absolutely has his athletic shoes on. He is on the run, actually doubled double dipping with 2 events this evening. He's down the hallway wrapping up a booster meeting. We moved a little bit faster than we normally do, so he is on his way. So if we could maybe potentially move to some additional items, he can come in on the informational item.
That's
Thank you.
perfect. That's perfect. Moving on into action items, we'll happy to hear from Mr. Maurer when he arrives. No worries there. The consent agenda items are listed below. Would any member like any of these items considered separately, or are there any questions on any of these items? Hearing none, I ask that a motion be made to approve the below mentioned items.
So moved.
A second? Are there any votes to the contrary? This is the personnel report, the revised courses, and the minutes. Hearing none, this can be considered unanimous. Dr. Warfink, you're going to recognize somebody, I believe?
Yeah, I would just like to point out that we have our first retirement, professional staff retirement of the year, of the 25-26 years. Mrs. Cassess, she's one of our learning support teachers over at Indian Rock, will be retiring after 34 years in education, with 27 of those York Suburban. She was kind enough to submit that pretty early on so that we can start looking for an excellent replacement and look where that position should be. So she'll be with us until right after Christmas.
Say that years of service again.
34 years in education, 27 of them have been here, so she'll have 27 and a half years when she's done.
Right, so we thank her for that, and thank you.
So I appreciate the notice that we can, special ed teachers are hard to find, so we're
Hard to come by.
gonna start looking as soon as the year gets started.
Okay, very good. Yep.
And as I mentioned, he does have those fast sneakers on. So Mr. Maurer did get here just about 60 seconds too late. So if we could ask him to join us, it'd be great.
It's all good, no worries. Hi there, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I have some athletic updates that I would like to share. First, I'm so excited that we are underway with our fall sports. Our football and golf teams started last Monday, and all of our other fall sports started today. Last week, we held a coaches meeting for all of our fall coaches. Dr. Adams, our athletic training staff, and members of the Booster Club were there to present and give information to our coaches. And that was both our assistant coaches and head coaches for all of our fall sports. A lot of our athletes and teams participated in the York Daily Record Media Days, either in person or via a questionnaire. So be on the lookout for some fun photos from that event, and they will use those questionnaires to create some stories about local teams. This year, we will be transferring our ticket platform, our online ticketing platform, to Hometown Ticketing, which is the official ticketing partner of PIAA, District 3, and the YAIAA. It will work very similarly to the system that we used in the past, but will create a more cohesive experience for our families who will be using the same platform the whole way through the season, rather than using one system for the regular season and a different one for the postseason. Also excited to recommend on tonight's agenda Joseph Bentz for our head swim coach position. Coach Bentz has been with the program for 4 years, both as an assistant with the high school team and involved with TAC, Trojan Aquatic Club. So very excited to have him on tonight's agenda for approval. Tonight, actually, where I was just coming from was the All Sports Booster Club, holding their first meeting of the school year. And I also want to share that the entire athletic department is moving to one communication platform, hopefully making it easier for our families who have multiple students participating in different sports. That way they get all of their information from one location, so coaches can send out announcements and updates, post their schedule on there, and then we don't have parents looking at 9 different apps because I did have a parent share that with me. They had several different ones. So hopefully bringing all of that together will be better for our families. And then upcoming events that we have. Today, the golf team had a scrimmage against Central York. And then we have boys soccer, girls soccer, field hockey, football, and girls tennis scrimmages scheduled for the 16th. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I'd just like to add, in terms of Coach Bentz, he's a York Suburban alum, and that's always nice for me when I realize that we're hiring our own. So that's awesome. Thank you for your report. Anything for Mr. Maurer this evening?
If I might ask a question.
Sure.
Real quick question. The All Sports Booster meeting that was just held, were the invitees to that meeting just your team reps, or is it an all parents meeting?
So those who are on their email list got the invitation through there, but it's certainly welcome all parents who do have a child involved in athletics. If there is somebody interested, we can get their contact information to our Booster Club executive board so they can be added to that email list. They will also be included on that band app. The Booster Club will have their own page there.
Does that clarify, Dr. Sullivan?
It does. I would just note that in recent years, we did have one of our first meetings with the All Sports Boosters meeting anybody who was the parent of a high school athlete was invited rather than just the team reps. And I think that was really good for getting engagement and getting leadership on your individual committees, getting roster, just maintaining continuity so that you don't have a dip in parent participation in the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, and that might be good feedback for the powers that be in Booster Club. I don't know, not familiar, but
Absolutely.
thank you for your report.
So, just.
Mr. Sanders?
Thank you for the update. And I've asked this of the other athletic directors that have sat in your chair before, but I'd be interested in your views of plugging it with our youth feeder clubs, so football, lacrosse.
Absolutely. So those programs are our future here at the middle school and high school levels. So we, as an athletic department, need to help support them. So that is getting the coaches of the varsity teams of that sport involved, just being around practices and their games, but also trying to bring more youth nights to our teams. I know football has one that will be scheduled. We're straightening out a date now, but scheduling more of those youth nights. And then I also have talked to Dr. Krauser about some ideas that I have to engage those, not necessarily on sports teams, but how we can get more of that youth involvement and get people excited about athletics at middle school and high school.
What about field access for our youth teams? What's your views on?
I think that they should have the district-affiliated youth program should use our facilities as long as it does not interfere with our high school and middle school programs.
So are you comfortable with the process and the system of accessing those fields by those clubs currently, or what's your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm still learning that process.
That's fair.
So I'm sorry I don't have that answer for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
One last question.
Sure.
What's the communication app that coaches use?
It's banned. Yes.
Thank you.
I'll just comment. Great question, Mr. Sanders. As Mr. Bauer mentioned, that has been part of our transition. I've been talking about the attention and the commitment to our feeder programs and that continuation to the system. And he's evaluating all those systems now and certainly working to build those relationships so that we can look at some long-term plan to get those things. That are programs that are working well. How do we enhance them? Programs that we need to have a focus on. What we do to continue to grow.
So perhaps we could get a report at a board level, maybe 6 months in, because what I will tell you is it's not positive feedback. It's not your doing, but it's not positive feedback for field access. The youth sports don't feel, they have no clue what's going on with the Booster Club or their selective sports that might have a clue. And, I mean, you mentioned getting more parents involved. Well, unfortunately, when they get to high school, they're not plugged in with what Booster Club's doing. They're lost, and they really are. And down to the 80-20, where 20% of those people that are sitting on that Booster Club are doing all of the work. And there's so many other active volunteers throughout the youth sport level that if they just knew what was going on and just communicated, I think you'd see, not in a year, but maybe in 3 to 5 years, a higher level of participation. Just a suggestion, but this is the first time I've said it to somebody sitting in your chair. I just hope that whatever you're saying, you come back to a board with proactive plans to really bring them in, because we're not a big school district. We can't have little fiefdoms that sit out there. It's just, it doesn't work. So, all right, thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Okay, moving on with 9.0 informational items. Mrs. Fryricks unable to be here tonight for the LIU and York Adams Academy report. We don't have anything from her, do we, Dr. President? No. Legislative update, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, those of you who are following the passage or the lack of passage of the budget, it's June 72nd in Harrisburg as the summer slips by without an approved state budget. Another example from the General Assembly of do as I say, not as I do. The word on the street is that ostensibly the sticking point is transit funding, although rumors abound that members of the Senate see an opportunity for school vouchers to slip by, a measure which the House is dead set against. In addition, there is also a rumor that cyber charter reform bill is being hamstrung by the attendant inertia in Harrisburg. And there is also talk of passing a short-term budget to alleviate the embarrassment of not fulfilling the General Assembly's constitutional responsibility. If there are no questions, that concludes my report.
I'm going to just stick my neck out here and ask if anybody has any insight about the budget. What's your crystal ball saying?
That's funny you mentioned a crystal ball. We've been talking a lot about that lately. At this point, we have received zero communication from all of our P groups, which are all of our state associations. Both Mrs. Kendick and I talk about it all day, all night, and all weekend, and still we're not getting any information. So I do wish I had a little bit more clarity in that ball.
Yeah, I get it. I just thought I'd ask.
It's eerily silent. Usually by now, and I mean it's been, I can't remember the last time, maybe 1 year in my 15 years they passed it on time. Usually there's at least chatter and there's just a few, they're working out the details by now. I have nothing as to where they're coming in at. So
I read that it's now June, 76th or something, because it has to be in by the end of June.
72nd.
72nd, okay. All right, yes.
To that point, Madam President, I did call my pals up in Harrisburg to see if there would be any merit to coming up to visit some of our local legislators. And the answer was, oh, you can come up if you want to, but there's nobody here.
Yeah, that's true too, so. All right, well, fingers crossed that at some point we get a budget. Moving on, Mrs. Kendig, is there a York Adams Tax Bureau report tonight?
I do not have that, but if you would be agreeable, I could give the information to Mrs. Turner that I failed to have.
Oh, sure, of course.
So for the emotional support class last year, we spent approximately $354,000, almost $355,000. And then for the autistic support, it was $212,760 for the program, and another almost $75,000, actually closer to $74,000 for the paras or the aides. So for a total of about almost $287,000 for the autistic support program.
Okay, that's great.
That concludes my report.
Yep, no, thank you very much for that. As far as the York County School Technology Report goes, I would encourage you all to read the Joint Operating Committee Mini Board Report that is linked to our agenda. And that takes us to recognizing our visitors. Thanks all for attending. We're glad you're here. And unless something has happened, we don't have any, I'm getting a signal from Mrs. Foreman, we don't have any public comment for the second round of public comments either. Are there any board comments for the good of the order, anything? I would remind board members to check your little portfolio. There is a school district ID in there for each of you. If you have not gotten it, please retrieve that and use it as appropriate. It was brought to our attention that not everyone had one, so hopefully now we all do. One more time, anything else for the good of the order? Okay, hearing none, we can stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.